trading profits.
Hi guys, I'm Ash Bull and I am an investor and professional trader.
Today we're going to be talking about giving one of our traders, one of our contestants, $1,000 first prize for being the first one to beat the trading experts. And we're going to give you the chance to win $1,000 next week as well, if you can beat us as well. A couple of extra rules around that competition, and I will cover them off for you in a few minutes. But if you want to, be one of the people who beats the experts, you need to come to the Learn to Trade online, trading group. You need to be in there. In a few minutes, I'm going to ask you guys a question, and the first person who answers that question correctly will be the person who gets to come onto the show live and place a trade with us. And if they can beat the experts this week, they will win $1,000, just as Gabriel Sim is going to win $1,000 for last week. Let's have a look at last week and go through that for you guys now. So,
what a brilliant trade!
What an amazing trade! Eh? Let's have a bit of a look at it. Gabriel Sim, he got in short here on gold. His trade is currently up $1,200. So Gabriel will be our winner. He'll be our first $1,000 winner. He gets a $1,000 prize, and you can win a $1,000 prize next week. What you won't be able to do this week is trade gold. We've had it 2 weeks in a row, and we're going to have a break from that. James will close these trades. Great to see the team all in profit. And again, my oil trade up about 7% this week. So my oil trade up about 7% for this week. We've got, I think it was Ash's trade up. We've got Simon's trade up just a little bit. And we've got Gabriel's trade up here. Whoa, a whipping of 60%. That's one hell of a trade. And boy, to time that move as he did is a heck of a bit of trading. And well done, Gabriel Sim. Your $1,000 I will give it to you when you join us in Jakarta for the EFTA conference a little bit later on. So James will close those trades now. In a few minutes, we will start putting our trades together as we move forward. If you want to join the Facebook group, the link to that is put in all the social media. You'll be able to find that on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And you can join the Facebook group if you want to and answer the question. And then you need to come on live with us and tell us what you're going to trade. And we will place that for you guys. Rightio. So I think without further ado, we did a show yesterday. Simon came in and his trade is NASDAQ short. Ash, what's your trade for today?
My trade is, now I was going to go for a Euro CAD long, which I still quite like, but I actually prefer the Euro CAD. And since I've had the benefit of time, I'm going to go for the Euro pound short. And here it is. Euro pound short. First thing I like to do at the start of the month is check where we are on the monthly price action. And when I look along here, what I've got is this horizontal level, which has been touched a few times. We're right at that particular area. Then I start to mine in. And when I mine in, lovely little resistance line here off the trend line on the weekly. And then I mine in again. And really what I have is when I come down to the 4 hour, look at that lovely trend line and how that particular price point meets where we currently are. Lower high on the 4 hour, that suggests to me that we're coming lower. I think the pound and the UK is just a little bit stronger than I initially assumed. Actually, some of the numbers from last week weren't anywhere near as bad. So my new trade mate is Euro pound, and it is a short.
Euro pound short for Ash. We've got NAS short for Simon. We'll come back and do my trade in a few minutes. But what we're going to do is Ash is going to jump out of that screen. We're going to go back into Facebook, and I'm going to ask you a question. And the first person who answers that question right in here will be the person whose trade goes on this week. They need to be able to come into the room with us. If you'd like a chance to win $1,000, the question is simple. What country am I from? What country am I from? So do let us know the first person to answer that question correctly in the chat. We'll get a chance to come in the room and place a trade to see if they can win $1,000 as Gabriel Sim did this week. They will not be able to trade gold this week. Now
you got to do your refresh, haven't you?
Yep. I reckon that look, Gabriel, I'm not sure I'm going to let you win it twice in a row. Anyone else?
Oh, by the way,
have a go. Yeah.
By the way, mate, did you know what the special day was on the 29th of September?
What was the special day on the 29th of September? Tell me, Ash, what was the 29th of September? It was my wife's birthday on the 25th. She thinks that's a pretty special day.
Well, I tell you whose other special day it was. What a week. It was Gabriel's. Gabriel's
Look,
birthday was on the 29th of September. He's beaten the experts in the trading competition, and he won the trip to Jakarta. I mean, what a week!
It's going to be in Jakarta on Wednesday to join us for iftar. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I think there's one space left for that for those that are interested in that. Look, Gabriel was the first, and I'm not going to let him win. He won last week. We're going to have John come in. John, as long as you can come live into the show and tell us you're trading, you don't trade gold, it is your chance this week to win $1,000. Interestingly, look, it's $1,000. They were the only two. They were the last two in the competition last week, and now they're the two who are trading against us this week. I'll let James get John into the room. While we're doing that, I'm going to jump in and have a look at my trade for today. I'm going to keep it nice and simple for today. And I'm simply going to go with dollar yen long. Nothing in particular, nothing amazing about this particular trade. I expect that we'll have a little retest a monthly pivot at some stage. We may see a pullback at some point, but we've got some nice seasonality coming in here over the current period, which I quite like. And we've got, I'm right now, I remain a US dollar bull. We had a bit of a conversation about that in one of the earlier shows. I said I'm above 106 on the US dollar index. I'm a bull, which we have. So I'm going to stay, I said about 105, I'm a bull. So I'm going to stay bullish on the US dollar for now. And I'm going to take dollar yen as my trade of the week. Do we have John in ready to go and give us his trade?
John looks like he's there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Nice to see you in the room, Drew. Do feel free to jump in those competitions, see if you win $1,000. Nice to have your comment, but come on. John, how you going?
I'm good, thanks.
How's the weather in the UK? Is it nice over there?
It's beginning to cool off.
Yeah, it's getting a bit cold. It's still a bit cold here.
Warmer than it should be for the time of year.
Yeah,
Great.
True enough.
Now, what we need from you, John, is a product and a direction. James will put the trade on for you. You can't trade gold. The last two contestants have traded gold, so it needs to be something else. What have you got for this week? What would you like us to put on for you?
I'm going to go for CAD Swissy short.
CAD Swiss short.
Oh, no, I like that.
Yeah, that's got some wheels to it.
Yeah, I've been in it long for a while and just come out of it, and it looks
well
like
done.
It's at least another week going down.
Good short, that one, wasn't it? But yeah, we had some significant resistance last week, and it does look like some unwinding may well come in. Difficult one actually to short because it was so strong, but you would expect some unwinding. So I like that. And actually, the CAD gets to November, CAD seasonally, all sorts of trouble. Very, very bad currency. So I think this one ultimately does unwind. Whether it's here, we'll wait and see.
That is a heck of a move up, isn't it?
Yeah.
And now we're going to trade it for the side down. So that is John, and so we have our trades now. I'm going to do my we've got our trades of the week. I'm going to do my chart of interest of the week. Many of you will remember that I tipped out uranium a few weeks ago at about $44, $71 spot on uranium today. So that continues to go well. I talked about oil last week, which continues to go well. My chart of the week this week is a different chart, and I will. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Kiwi. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Kiwi for a different reason. The Reserve Bank of New Zealand is due to post interest rates this week, and the talk around New Zealand amongst the experts is reasonably clear that there will be no move in the interest rate in New Zealand. Because we're a week out from a general election, and that people don't believe that the Reserve Bank of New Zealand, if they put interest rates up in New Zealand this week out, they would affect the outcome of that election. They would doom the current government, and they like the current government. And historically, they don't. They don't make moves close to general elections over a long period of time. I don't think they'll move the interest rates, but they will, I think, put interest rates up in the next meeting. And I think it's a really important thing. The Reserve Bank of New Zealand is going to say that inflation has not come down in New Zealand the way it was supposed to, that the internal indicators in New Zealand show that base inflation is way too high, and that historically, in both lifting and falling interest rates, New Zealand Reserve Bank has been one of the first in the world. And if the New Zealand Bank goes back into a raising cycle, and it is going to be a cycle, I think they're going to put them up maybe 2 or 3 times. Maybe once November, once January, February, maybe one more look, I reckon. I reckon that might unsettle the rest of the world. I'll be watching this chart. I spoke to Ash. He said interest rates go up in New Zealand dollar goes up. I'll tell you what, if the current Labour-led coalition can find a poll that says they're going to be reinstated, the New Zealand dollar hits this bottom level within 2 days. It'll go straight down. So as this election gets closer, the current Prime Minister's got COVID, can't campaign. But the New Zealand dollar is the one that fascinates me at the moment. I think that, and New Zealand's got a weird political system. If we see a Labour-led coalition in front in the polls, I think New Zealand dollar will get punished. It would make a party called Te Pāti Māori, the coalition that have maybe 2 or 3 seats, and they could dominate the coalition negotiations. And they're strongly in favour of some economic policies that would be unpopular globally. I think that would see a big sell in this. And if the national-led coalition can get in front without the help of a party called New Zealand First, you guys might know who these guys are, then I think we'll see the dollar continue to rally. It's an interesting level. 60 cents versus the US has been a key level for New Zealand dollar for some time. We've just tested and rejected it. So I'm still right now, despite the move up, I'm still a little bit bearish on the Kiwi right now, but we'll watch those results really interesting. And I'm interested in the long term as a barometer. If the Reserve Bank of New Zealand holds interest rates this week, but puts out a statement saying, actually, we're only just holding, and the outlook for the next one is interest rates rise, I think some of the key reserve banks around the world, the governing banks around the world, will look at that, and that will unsettle the market in quite a big way. And we may see risk off become the trade pretty quickly. So I'll be watching not the Reserve Bank of New Zealand announcement this week, but the comments. So that's my chart of the week. Let's get on to sports bets. Ash, what was Simon's sports bet of the week?
Oh, he had just a quick comment on that. Actually, I couldn't agree more on the Kiwi, and you know, you've got it up against the dollar, which I also like, actually, Kiwi dollar long, but I quite like the Kiwi CAD. You know, you consider what could happen to the CAD if it follows its seasonal pattern in November. What happens to the Kiwi if that follows its seasonal pattern from the middle of October? You're looking at a Kiwi long right up until the end of the year. You're looking at a CAD short from November right up until the end of the year. Kiwi CAD long is also really attractive, but I couldn't agree more, mate. I think your thesis is right on the money. So sports,
decent retracement on the move, isn't it? That is just
yeah.
that has banged out all the progress from August, just gone in 2 days.
Yeah.
Okay, mate. Simon's sports bet.
Simon's sports bet was West Bromwich Albion. He went into the Championship this week. So anybody that's not familiar, the UK or the English football system has 4 tiers, and he's gone into the Championship, which is tier 2, and he's going for West Bromwich Albion, which is a team in the Midlands, to beat Sheffield Wednesday on Tuesday evening. So that's his sports bet of the week.
Look, we've got a bunch of people coming into the room. We'll summarise our trades at the end. Your sports bet for this week, Ash?
Oh, do you know what? My sports bet's a bit of a joke. Last week, I picked Fulham versus Chelsea to be under 2.5 goals. They still haven't played. So my sports bet's going to roll over. So tonight, we've got that particular one. And then next week, we've got Arsenal versus Manchester City. And I fancy an Arsenal win, nearly paying 2-1. So, you know, aside from the actual fact that I think Arsenal will win, the value of that particular bet at home against Manchester City, who are in pretty questionable form right now, I think is a lot of value. So yeah, Arsenal to beat Man City at 2-1 is my bet of the week, mate.
Cheers, mate. And I'm going to ask our sports bets from last week. My bet was for the National Rugby League final in Australia. The first 3 try scores to be converted. They were indeed. In fact, I think possibly every try in the game was converted, paid $1.97. Easiest money I've ever made sports betting. Was just ridiculous. Sports bets for you and Simon?
So Simon won. He's returned a 0.67% winner. So yep. I can't remember what his bet was now, but he did win. And mine hasn't played out yet, mate. You know, I picked the wrong mark here. Mine's not playing until tonight. So I thought, you know, usually they have Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Occasionally you have a Monday night game, and I chose the Monday night game. I just looked at the teams. I wasn't actually looking at the day at the time. So I'll have two in next week to talk about.
Great. And my sports bet of the week this week, and this is a rip. Boy, if you're looking for some odds, I'll talk a little bit about this. I'm going to take Italy with a 30-point start against France in the Rugby World Cup.
Wow.
Now on the weekend, Italy lost to New Zealand 96-17. And they are being picked here to, to get smashed. And the odds are massively against them. But I want to show you this. Italy's rugby. So here they are. They lost 96-17 to the All Blacks. They beat Uruguay. They beat Namibia. They beat Japan. They beat Romania. Ireland, one of the best sides in the world. They lost by 16. Scotland, one of the best sides in the world. They lost by 12. 12 again there. They lost by 12 to Wales. When you get up here, the last time Italy played France, France beat them by 5 points. Now, just because the All Blacks cut them up doesn't mean they've become a bad team overnight. I think 30 points is a really good chance France will be fired up, big home crowd. And this is the thing. I'm not writing off the biggest upset in Rugby World Cup history here. If Italy beat France, and this is the last time they played each other in the Five Nations, this is 5 points. If Italy beat France, France are out of their home World Cup. So if Italy can stay in that game for 60 minutes, they can put France under immense pressure. The last time they lost by more than the 30-odd points I'm talking about was against South Africa, also in February this year. But going back, it is pretty rare. They don't get smashed anymore. They used to because they were rubbish. Then a gentleman called Kieran Crowley started coaching them in New Zealand, ex-All Black. Their results are up. I would put this on. I'll put this on now.
They're going to be keen as well, aren't they, mate, to make sure that they, at least kind of come out and show a little bit of fight after such an enormous battering.
Yeah, mate. I think they will. They will want to. They were embarrassed last week, and All Black team is a team that's always been good at putting away opposition. They were amazing. The All Blacks, 70 minutes of the best rugby I've seen them play in 5 years last week. They were brilliant, and Italy got badly exposed. But they're playing France, who are a great side. But I think Italy will work hard on defence with this game. Again, Kieran Crowley is a tough man. He'll have them back. So, Jura, the name of the competition here that we have is that you pick a trade in a direction and you have 1 week. There's no targets. There's no stop losses. That's the way it works in this show. We're going to go over those trades again. We've got Simon, who is NASDAQ short. We've got John, who is CAD Swiss short. We've got Ash, who is
Euro pound short.
And we've got me, who is dollar yen long. They are our trades of the week. We had a pretty good week last week. All 4 trades won. Obviously, if you've taken them, you would have done pretty well. The account itself's up, I think, over 60% so far from this competition. Is that us, Ash?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. Good luck to John, of course.
Thank you.
And look, guys, if John wins this week, we'll give him $1,000, and next week someone else can play for $1,000. And if John loses, we'll put the kitty up by the amount of people who belong to that Facebook group. So it'll be about $1,200 up next week. We'll be on at 6 o'clock. Ash and I think likely coming from the airport in Singapore for this one next week, but we'll be around for sure. See you in Jakarta on Wednesday, Ash. To the rest of you, take care of your capital, trade with care. We'll see you next week. See yous.
Bye, guys.